Hello, I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report. It's April 15th, and here's your red alert. Today I'd like to talk about college campuses in the U.S. and recent events regarding BDS and its offshoots. BDS is Boycott, Divest, Sanction. It is a movement afoot in many college campuses wherein they seek to discuss or demonstrate against the nation of Israel and often individual Jewish people under the ruse that they are for human rights and equality in the Middle East. However, over and over again, proofs have been demonstrated that this movement is beyond any legitimate discussion of human rights in the Middle East, but are instead, at its foundation, anti-Semitic and seek to delegitimize the state of Israel and even remove it from the map. But backtracking a little bit, let's talk about what happened at Brown University last month. A particular Jewish author, who's also a member of the gay and lesbian community and who has many books on that topic, was invited to speak by one of the Jewish groups in one of the buildings, the Hillel building on Brown University. Now, the Students for Justice in Palestine, the SJP group, who are often the foundation for BDS actions on any given college campus, they protested this woman's event to come speak at the campus because of her connections with the Jewish interest. So that seems to be a little bit discriminatory. Not only that, after this cancellation, the Marcy House, which is a particular dorm on campus at Brown, that contains both fraternities that have a predominantly Jewish membership, as well as fraternities with many members of the gay and lesbian community. This particular dormitory was befuddled with graffiti, anti-Semitic and anti-gay graffiti. Now, we can't pinpoint that directly on the Students for Justice in Palestine, but the inductive logic would be that their unhappiness with this event even being scheduled and their unhappiness probably with both sets of interests led to this discriminatory action. So this is a sad event that on our college campuses, freedoms, academic freedom, religious freedom, freedom of expression was openly and disgustingly rebutted by a group of students, some combination thereof between the SJP or others, that was very discriminatory and flies in the face of any notion of equality for human beings. Not only that, it is ironic that in the Middle East, the only place where the gay and lesbian community can openly live their lives with survival, as well as any protections or notion of a quality of life that is equal to their other citizens, is in Israel. Israel's law and justice system have protections for people regardless of their gender identification, sexual orientation, religion. This is unprecedented in the Middle East because homosexuals and the like are often arrested, even executed for their lifestyle in neighboring nations. And yet the state of Israel is constantly pigeonholed and discriminated against and demonstrated against as somehow the source of human rights violations in the Middle East. And that is what's so ironic and what is so frustrating for those of us who know the reality of the state of Israel, even if there are legitimate policy issues and decision issues to talk about in the peace process and how to deal with the larger issues in the Middle East. At the UC system, that is the University of California, which is a statewide university system, their governing board at the state level has unanimously voted that particular administrations on the particular college campuses be on the lookout for anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism occurring on campus, especially when BDS movement activities are scheduled. This is in recognition of the many events that have been documented where the BDS movement would have an activity on campus and Jewish students would be feeling threatened or somehow violated. There has been violence and graffiti on those campuses as well. And the BDS movement claims that it is an academic movement seeking discussion and policy review against Israel and its decisions. But this again is where the incongruence happens. The resulting effects of BDS movements on campuses is beyond legitimate debate of Israel, its policies, its effects on the Middle East. It is beyond that, and it goes towards anti-Semitism, that is discrimination against Jewish individuals as well as the nation of Israel. Therefore, the movement on campus is not a legitimate situation, and now it is recognized that these lines are blurred between academia and discrimination, and that the individual college campuses need to be on the lookout for it and punish the violations. Now, the UC Governing Board did not present a specific list of violations nor a recommendation for punishment. So for that, the BDS movement is thankful that they still have an open forum to schedule their events. People who oppose BDS are thankful that at least there's a recognition that these events lead to anti-Semitism and that they need to be watched and identified, and punishment should occur if these things happen. So with that information, I leave you to be the judge whether this week we have had any progress or setbacks in our opposition to the BDS movement and its underlying discrimination against the nation of Israel and the Jewish people worldwide. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.